Gita Sugita Kartavya. There is a sentence. In one of the praise shlokas of the Bhagavad Gita, there is a sentence. Gita Sugita Kartavya. Kim Anyaihi Shastra Vistaraihi. Which means the Bhagavad Gita, whether you study anything else or not, the Bhagavad Gita has to be studied extremely well. So Gita Kartavya. So that which is Gita must be converted into Sugita, meaning well assimilated, well ascertained knowledge. Then it goes to say, the same verse says, the next half of the verse says, Kim Anyaihi Shastra Vistaraihi. What is the use of all the Vistaraihi means? This huge, what is that? Compendium. What is the use of this huge compendium of Shastras? And it is indeed huge. We just make it small by calling it Prasthanatraya. Traya means only three things. Okay, we can handle it. And what are those three things? Three things were Upanishads. And there is, such a lot of, so many Upanishads. So little time. So many Upanishads. And then we have Brahma Sutra. Only 555 Brahma Sutras. Each one has got commentaries called Bhashya, Adi Shankara's Bhashya, other people's Bhashyas. And then we have, there is in the tradition, every Bhashya, then there is a Vartika. Then there is, certain commentaries which are of, smaller commentaries called Tika. Meaning they don't comment on the original Brahma Sutras or anything. Tika means they talk about the Bhashya. This is called Tika. Then we have like certain notes, Tippani. We have notes. There are Tippani Karas also. There are all these notes. And so the Brahma Sutra itself takes such a long time to study. Even the first 4 sutras can take about a year to study, which is generally what is done. Chatussutri, it is talked about, and it's the last thing that is studied because it talks about many, many different kinds of, Upanishads, Vakyas, and analyzes. It is pure hermeneutics, what we call hermeneutics. And so therefore, we have to be, so this is just the Brahma Sutra. Then we have Upanishads, and they also have commentaries, Tikas, Bhashyas, Tikas, Vartikas, Tippanis, everything. And then we have, of course, the Bhagavad Gita. This constitutes Prasthanatraya. And the Bhagavad Gita, of course, has so many commentaries. And also Tika, everything is there. And so therefore, even though we say Prasthanatraya, the Shastra is a compendium. It's a huge compendium. Not only that, for every single Upanishad, there are so many secondary works of Veda. There are what are called Prakarana Granthas. Prakarana Granthas means they will exactly formulate everything that is there in the Upanishad. One step by step. How the Upanishad unfolds, this will also unfold. But for the common people. The Upanishad is a lady of few words. She'll just say a few things and then keep quiet. And then that's why we need a lot of explanation. And so those explanations, etc., come in the secondary Vedanta works, which are called Prakarana Granthas. There are also Manana Granthas. The Manana Granthas don't necessarily unfold the knowledge, like Advaita Makaranda, very fantastic text. They don't unfold the knowledge per se, but they make sure that, your doubts are clear. That's why the first line in many of them, like the Advaita Makaranda, we have a statement. And then the last line, we have Tasmat. Tasmat means, therefore I am Brahman. And the reasoning is given in the first line. Ahamasmi sadabhami, kada chinnahamapriyah. Ahamasmi, I am. And this I am is not an ordinary I am. This is an I am unlike anything else. The cognition of yourself is unlike the cognition of anything else in the universe. Because anything else in the universe, you alone cognize. You say this lamp, this mic, this computer, these people, this table, this chair, like this. Everything becomes evident to me. And who do I become evident to? Myself. Very good. Myself. Not somebody else. If I ask you, Pujya Swamiji used to do this all the time. Are you here? That was his favorite question. And then people would look at each other. Even now, when I ask people, look at each other and say, is this a trick question? Am I supposed to answer or not? Yes, you're supposed to answer. Are you here? Yes. You don't have to turn to the significant other and say, please, am I here or not? You don't have to do that. पूछ के बताता हूँ. You don't have to say, I'm going to ask the permission of the significant other and find out if I'm here or not. It's evident. So aham asmi, I am evident. And how do you know that you are evident? Because I know, and it is a knowledge that's not based on reading of books. Sada bhami, I am always, aware, awareness. And kadachit na aham apriyaha. At no time am I distasteful to myself. Oh, what are you talking about? You don't know what all goes in my mind and how much self-loath I have. But even if the person with a lot of self-hatred is told, what do you hate about yourself? I hate the fact that I don't have as much money as the neighbor. Okay, let's say we fix it. We give you so much money. Will you still hate yourself? No. I don't like how I look. That's why there are all these, there is a whole branch of medicine called plastic surgery. So let's say you have the money to go ahead and fix up, your nose, your everything. And these days, there is a lot of clientele, especially with the young people. I don't know why. And then this was something which is very alarming trend in Japan. All these young women, between the ages of 18 and 25 are going to get their appearance fixed. The doctors didn't know why. They turned many of them away because they were so young. And then some unscrupulous ones, of course, did it. And because they wanted to look like their selfies. And they were not looking like their selfies. So when they take a selfie, if you've seen young people, when they take a selfie, they make a selfie face. I can't make it, but something like that. And all the cheekbones suddenly become high. And then here it's all concave. And the lips are just like, 1 inch across. That's it. And they wanted to look like the selfies. And so, yeah, exactly. So funny. And so ridiculous. But that's really what they wanted. And so like this, if supposing they got to look like that, if they hadn't been turned away, maybe they would have been fine. So kadachit na aham apriyaha means it's a very huge thing. In fact, this comprises this first sentence of the verse of the this thing, the Advaita Makaranda. Can you please silence, or everybody silence your phones, and from tomorrow leave it in the room. Because after 1 hour you can go. Everybody will be fine. Okay, yeah. You can call them back. So then, this kadachit na aham apriya. This is the Upanishadic message that says that the self is an object of love at all times. At no time is it unloved. And everything being the self, everything is lovable. And then here we have to put a little caveat, either by its presence or by its absence. Cockroaches, scorpions, etc. are lovable far away. You love their absence or you love the presence, but it is all love it. And then, so, aham asmi sada bhami kada chinnaham apriyah. Then he says, brahmaivaham atas siddham. Therefore, it is established. In this one line, exactly one line of 16 syllables, he says, therefore, it is established. Atas siddham. Now it is established. What is established? Brahma eva aham. Brahma aham asmi. I am this Brahman. It is therefore established. And what is this Brahman? Satchidananda Lakshanam Brahma. Ahameva asmi. So this is, this is not like a beginning text. This text is for people who already understand this, but they may have some doubts. I don't really feel like Brahman today. I'm having a bad day. Okay, read Advaita Makaranda. Learn to chant it and read it. It's really it's a wonderful, excellent. It's like the author Lakshmidhara Kavi giving you a pep talk. That's really what the Prakarana Granthas are like. Then there are certain other beginning granthas which lay out everything, which are beginning granthas like Tattva Bodha, etc. Then there are Nididhyasana granthas like Manisha Panchaka. It is not really for, you can get knowledge out of it definitely. You can understand it, but it's a contemplative text. Like Ramana Maharshi's Saddarshanam, contemplative text. He does not try to bother to explain what is the nitty-gritty of this and why this and how this, but it basically takes you to a place of contemplation. We talked about experience and all that. So that is where it takes you. Very, very fantastic. So this comprises the whole gamut of the Shastra. And then here, the simple verse from the Bhagavad Gita, the praise song, says, Gita Sugita Kartavya. The Gita must be studied very well. Kim Anyaihi Shastra Vistaraihi. What is the use of all these things? What is the use of Advaita Makaranda? What is the use of the Upanishads? What is the use of Brahma Sutras that, Tika, this, that, Vartika, Karika, and what else? Tippani, Bhashya. What is the use of all that? When you can study the Gita, you have studied, in other words, everything. This is like tall praise, correct? It could be said that perhaps the Gita is subject to what? Exaggeration. Exaggeration. Because this is kind of a hyperbole at best. Because this is what we are used to. Especially in America. That's the best restaurant. Is it really the best restaurant? No. But that's what the teenagers think. Not just teenagers. Everybody is very effusive in America. And everybody thinks this is the best. And of course, everybody, whoever reads the reviews, say, okay, they think it's the best. So I have to take it with a grain of salt. Do we have to, this is my question to you, do we have to do the same thing with the Bhagavad Gita? Do we have to take the praise with a grain of salt? Because it is somebody writing it. And they might have had a wonderful experience studying it, and so they are praising the Bhagavad Gita to the skies. They are saying, forget the Veda, forget Upanishads, forget everything, and just study the Gita. And then what is the use of even other Shastras being in existence? Is this an exaggeration? Somehow instinctively we know that is not an exaggeration. But then why and how is it not an exaggeration? Because we have to look at the word Bhagavad Gita itself, and that gives us the reason why it is not an exaggeration. Bhagavataha Gita, Bhagavad Gita, the song of the Lord. Song means what? It is not really a song. You're not supposed to sing it. You're supposed to chant it. Nobody composes the Gita to a raga and sings it, because the tradition is very clear. If you're supposed to chant, you chant. If you're supposed to sing, you sing. So this is a chant. It's a chanted thing. But then why is it called a song? Because like a song, it is extremely pleasant to hear. Like a raga, Yaman Kalyan. This is the evening raga. Very beautiful. It's got that Tivra Madhyama. It's got that Makara sharp Ma. And very, very lovely to hear. And so like a song, like your favorite song. And of course, if you're teaching this to teenagers, you have to also include heavy metal music in that, because that for them is the favorite. But your favorite song, how easy it is to listen to it. And you don't feel like it's a chore. You don't feel like you have to put any effort to listen to this song. You don't feel like you have to work really hard to understand it. Nothing. You just turn it on or stream it or whatever you're doing. And then after that, it is just so lovely. Very, very wonderful. So this is the song. And so that's why it is called Gita. In fact, there is no word called Gita at all. It is Gitam because the word Gita is neuter. Gitam. But then here, purposely we have feminized it because the teaching is always feminine. Upanishad, feminine. That's why the word Upanishad, feminine. Why? Because it is the source of knowledge. Goddess Saraswati, source of knowledge, feminine. Upanishad, feminine. And then Shruti, another word that we often use, feminine. And so therefore, in keeping with that, since the Bhagavad Gita talks about self-knowledge, it has also been made feminine. Therefore, we have Gita. Gitam Iva. It is almost like a song because it is very, very pleasant to hear. Why is it pleasant to hear? Because this is exactly what I want to hear. This is in keeping with the human yearning, and we'll talk more about that. This is in keeping with the human yearning. It is the reason what brought all of you here today, even though many people may not know me, and many people may not know what this retreat center is. And then you asked along the way so many times, and then somehow you got here. What is it that made you come here? That is, that yearning to know something else, to be something else other than what one thinks one is, to be free. This is what moksha means, freedom, to be free, to feel a sense of wholeness that I think I am and I know I want to be, but I don't know how. That is what brings one to places like this, away from the din of the everyday. So this is what brings one here. And so therefore, it is like a song because its message is what? You are its message. Imagine if you turn on a song and then it's all talking about you. Already the song is pleasant. And then if it is talking about you, how much more sweeter it is. How beautiful. It's all talking about you in keeping with what you want to be. It's the Bhagavad Gita, like its parent, the Upanishad, talks about the autobiography of the self. So the Bhagavad Gita is writing my autobiography? Yes. But autobiography, isn't it supposed to be me writing it? Yes. See, technically, yes. If I am supposed to be writing my autobiography, then why is the Bhagavad Gita writing it? This is my question. So it is my life story. So somebody else, some other text, why is it writing it? The answer is very simply put, because you are doing a bad job. That's why. You're doing a terrible job. You're writing it all wrong. First chapter, why me? Why all these things are happening to me? Second chapter, I don't like my horoscope. It's full of Shani is in the wrong place, and this is in the wrong place, and this is, Third chapter, nobody loves me. It is, unlike the famous autobiography, what is that called? Autobiography of a yogi, where most people cut their spiritual teeth on. Unlike that, this is an autobiography of a bhogi. Yes, everybody is crying all the time. And the Upanishad said, this is your life story. Shut up, sit down. Do you like this book that you have written? And of course, the last chapter is what? To be continued. Next life. To be continued. Next life. And then the life after that. It does not change. The story is the same. It does not change. Nobody loves me. I'm alienated from myself. I'm alienated from others. I'm alienated from this whole Jagat. Disconnected from the Jagat. And if you're disconnected from the Jagat, then you're disconnected from the maker of the Jagat as well. Bhagavan, Ishvara, disconnected from the source. And going about life just crying all the time. Yeah, just carrying extra hankies because one needs it really. And can't live and can't, do everything properly either. You ask anybody, what is, how is your life? This is the sign. What this sign is, first when I encountered, I didn't know. It's almost like you're falling off a precipice. Meaning, so. How is the job? Meaning what? The pay is good, but the commute is bad. Or the pay is good, but the boss is terrible. Then you get a little more, you ask them few more things. How is the marriage? The hand trembles faster. How are the children? Don't even ask. They are teenagers. So this is the story. This is your one's life story. That one is, then you say to the person, okay, if the job is terrible, leave it. No, how can I leave the job? I can't leave the job. Okay, stay in it and at least happily do it. No, I can't do that either. Then what can you do? I can complain. I can have a support group and have other people also complain along with me. That's what I can do. And that is what is the rejected autobiography of everyone that one does not like. That's why here in the Upanishad, which really is the inspiration for the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is called Gita Upanishad because it is like an Upanishad. The message is exactly the same, absolutely the same. And so, in this Gita Upanishad, in the Bhagavad Gita, it has a different view of you. That is why it is like a pleasant song that is singing your praises. For Bhagavan, we have Ashtottara, 108 names. And what? 1008 names, like Sahasranama. Then we have Laksharchana, we have 100,000 names. And all of them are very pleasant sounding. The Bhagavad Gita is like that, except it is not talking about Bhagavan, it is talking about you as Bhagavan, as non-separate from Bhagavan. Just very, very beautiful. So, song of the Lord. So that's why it's like a song. It is pleasant because it is exactly in keeping with what you want to hear all the time. That is why it is pleasant. And then what else? It is the Bhagavataha Gita. These two ways you can break up this compound Bhagavad Gita. One way is Bhagavataha Gita, just like we said, simple, plain, Kartari Shashti, song of the Lord. Meaning, the teacher, the one who is teaching about this, is the Lord. And it is his song, Lord Krishna's song. But then there is another way also to look at it. And if we don't look at this in this way, then we are missing a lot of things. This is the passive construction, Karmani Shashti. The song for which the subject matter is the Lord, which is why it is very pleasant. Bhagavata Gita still, but it is Karmani in the sense of the passive. The song for which the subject matter is Bhagavan. And so you see, that is why it cannot be an exaggeration. Why can't it be an exaggeration? Because the subject matter of the Bhagavad Gita is the infinite. And if you praise the infinite to the skies, it is still infinite. And if you criticize, if you take away something from the infinite, it is still infinite. So that is why it is very, very important to understand this. Very, very important to study this Bhagavad Gita, because it is not a hyperbole. It is not an exaggeration. Because whatever is in the Upanishads, whatever is in this, it is already there in the Bhagavad Gita. And it is much more easier to understand. Why? Because there is Arjuna. Everybody loves Arjuna. Why? Because he asks all the questions that we never thought we could ask. And we secretly wanted to ask, but we did not ask. This is why everybody loves Arjuna. And so, and then there is there is these questions, and then there are answers, because what is being revealed, the subject matter of the Bhagavad Gita, is exactly what I chanted in the Advaita Makaranda verse. Aham asmi sada bhami kadachinna aham apriyah brahmaivaham atas siddham satchidananda lakshana. This is what is the subject matter. How is it that the I is not subject to sorrow and still I feel sad? This is the subject matter of the Bhagavad Gita. How is it that even though I know all this, I still slip and find myself coming under the spell of my strong preferences and my strong prejudices? Arjuna asked this. अथ केन प्रयुक्तेन पापं चरति पूरुषः अनिच्छन्नपि वार्ष्णेय बलादिव नियोजितः. In the second chapter, 36th verse, he asks this. Kena prayuktena, impelled by whom? Goaded by whom? Like a buffalo standing, it doesn't give way for traffic. And so somebody has to come and goad it, and then it will go. So as though goaded by whom? Impelled by whom? Papam charati purushah. The person commits all these things, goes astray from dharma, does not go in tandem with dharma, does not do what is correct, does not do what is right, does not do what is appropriate, does not do what they are supposed to do. Kena prayuktena. By whom? Impelled by whom? Anichannapi. And even as the person is doing wrong things, the person knows, I don't want to be doing this, I should not be doing this, still the person does this. Baladivya niyojitah, as though this arrangement has been made in, by force. By force, one is pulled to do wrong things. Why? That answer is found in the Bhagavad Gita, which is why we have to study this. Kama esha krodha esha rajoguna samudbhavah mahashano mahapapma vidyenam miha vairinam. He gives two reasons. One is kama, intractable desires. We are not talking of desires over which one can have a say. Some desires are of the mild variety. Oh, I think I would love to have a chocolate cake. Well, it is not here now. Okay, I'll have it some other day. Okay. But then certain other desires are of the too strong variety. If I don't have this, I'm going to die. I have to have this yesterday. If you hear children talk, this is how they talk. I want it right now. I have to have it. And that force. Kamat krodhodbhavam vegam. Elsewhere, Bhagavad Gita says, this vega, this pressure created by the ragadveshas, that is the problem here. And so therefore, I have to get rid of this pressure. How? And this is what Lord Krishna says. So this kind of desire creates the pressure. Kama esha. And when that desire is thwarted, you know what happens? Anger comes. Anger is always whenever I cannot have my way. That is the recipe for anger. Whenever I cannot have my way, I am angry. You can, test this. The next time you're angry, you can see, okay, what did not go my way? What is it that I wanted that I did not have? Then you will see the truth of this. Then, Kama esha krodha esha rajoguna samudbhava. It is a rajasic expression. Rajasic expression, rajas, which is that restlessness, anger, all this comes from rajas. Kind of a strong desires come from rajas. And then Lord Krishna describes it as Mahashanaha, meaning the one with a great appetite. Mahapapma. Mahapapma means, full of wrongdoings. These emotional conditions lead us to all kinds of wrongdoings. Vidhi, please know this to be what? Inimical to you. Enam vairinam vidhi. Know this to be inimical to you. And so this is what is talked about. That is why it is so pleasant to hear. And a number of mysteries are, revealed especially about day-to-day life. Because really, the title of this retreat, Gita in day-to-day life, I think is kind of redundant. If we just say Bhagavad Gita, it should be enough because it is all about day-to-day life. It is all about how to lead one's life, what to do, what not to do. Everything is given. What are the things you should avoid is given. It's like like when we were born, Bhagavan did not send an instruction booklet how to live, what to do. This Bhagavad Gita instead should be seen as an instruction booklet of daily life, daily living only. How to give back, because much of the sorrow and the pain in life is about giving back, not giving back. Because I feel alienated. Then why do you feel alienated? Because, you're not giving back. You're not giving back to the world that has nurtured you. The plants, the seeds, the trees, the rivers, people. Even people who have not nurtured you, who are, because of some unfortunate circumstances, in a worse circumstance than yourself. So this giving back is very, very, very an important tool to feel connected, to feel that one is whole. Where? In the day-to-day life. This giving back is extremely necessary. So like this, it tells you what to do. It tells you what not to do. And it tells you how you end up doing the things you don't want to do. This is this is what is called Yoga Shastra. This is the very big portion of the teaching of the Bhagavad Gita. Yoga Shastra. Yoga means here Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is nothing but day-to-day living. How to live, the Bhagavad Gita is also talking about how much to eat, when to eat, how to make your life ready for this knowledge, which people may think it's too theoretical, it's too far above me. Why? Because the preparation is needed. When the preparation is there, the knowledge just goes in very easily. And because the Bhagavad Gita, it's like a mother bird feeding the baby birds. If you have seen any National Geographic videos, then what do you see? It chews up the food, worms or whatever it might be, seeds, worms, etc. It's all chews up. And then it puts it not just in the mouth of the baby bird, but all the way inside its throat. It will go like this and put it. And the baby bird simply has to open the mouth, and the mother bird goes and just puts it almost in its stomach. The baby just has to swallow. That is exactly the kind of teaching given by the Bhagavad Gita. One has to just open the heart to receive this knowledge. And the opening of the heart has a name here in the Shastra, and it is called Shraddha. Shraddhavan labhate jnana. The one equipped with Shraddha gains the knowledge. So this Shraddha is to be like the baby bird. All you have to do is receive the food, which is the Upanishad, cut up into bite-sized pieces, already pre-digested, and it's just coming. That's why the Upanishad and the Bhagavad Gita are called Hitaishini. That's another reason why it is feminine. Because it can repeat the same thing again and again and again with so much love, and so much compassion, and so much patience, like a functional mother. Because it is Kali Yuga, we have to add functional mother. Before, this was not necessary. So, functional mother. Because all she wants is for the child to be well and to grow nicely. And here also, all that the Bhagavad Gita wants is for us to not hate ourselves, to come to a place of loving everything in the universe. And that can only happen if you understand that all this here is just one, and it is non-separate from you. It is non-separate from Bhagavan. This is one of the reasons why it becomes a very crucial subject matter of study. Yoga Shastra. This is what is Yoga Shastra, comprising, a very big portion of the Bhagavad Gita. Then we have another topic. What is that? Brahma vidya. Knowledge of Brahman. Knowledge of Brahman means what? Knowledge that is Brahman. Knowledge that is you. Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra, these two comprise the two subject matters of the Bhagavad Gita. That's why at the end of every chapter we chant. Om iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita su. Then what? Upanishadsu, Brahma Vidyayam, Yoga Shastra. These are the two topics. Brahma Vidya, Yoga Shastra. Brahma Vidya, this is understanding how one is Bhagavan, how one is non-separate from Bhagavan. Brahma Vidya is given through Mahavakya, such as Tattvamasi, etc. Knowledge of Ishvara as non-separate from this universe, as non-separate from yourself. Very, very nice. Very important. That's the only thing that removes sorrow. Because if you say, okay, Ishvara is there, many theologies have this thing. Ishvara is somewhere, God is somewhere, and it doesn't do you any good. You have to know who that Bhagavan is, and you have to understand yourself as non-separate from that Bhagavan. Then only the possibility of freedom from samsara exists. What is samsara? Sum total of all kinds of sorry experiences makes one a samsari. Yeah, very, very sorry. This is what it is. That's what it is. Samsara. And that is why so Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra. These are the two big topics. Huge. Each one is big in its own right. And through this, one easily crosses over the ocean of samsara. That is what we chanted in the Gita Dhyana shlokas earlier. The person crosses over the ocean of samsara very easily. Why? Because one is being ferried across by Lord Krishna is the boatman. Kaivartakah Keshavah. We saw that. And so how is this, what is this ocean of samsara like? Oh, there are seaweed of desires. They can strangulate you. And there are whirlpools of doubt, eddies, currents that you don't know about. And then what else is there? Alligators and sharks in the form of ragadveshas. And then what else is there? A lot of other horrible deep sea creatures who are waiting to have you for lunch. This is the ocean of samsara. This is exactly what Mirabai sings. Mori lagi lagana guru charananiki. I am fixated on the feet of the teacher. Why? Because I have come to know that anything else does not matter. Jhuta maya sab sapananaki. And then, she says that she went to the guru to get some swimming lessons, how to swim and stay afloat. Glub, glub, glub. Come up for air once in a while drowning. See, if your one is already drowned, then finish. There's nothing to talk about. Drowning. Yeah. Present continuous. A big wave comes, oh, no, here. Then you thrash around in the water, glub, 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 come out, and again go down. Again come out. Again go down. So she thought maybe the guru will give me some mantra or the guru will make me do some, what is the best swimming lesson to swim in samsara? Should I do the front stroke, back stroke, butterfly stroke? Hey guru, tell me. You know what the guru said? Guru, she sings, Bhavasagar sabu sukh gaya. The ocean of samsara, lo and behold, has dried up. Why? Ulat bhai mohe nayananaki. Meera ke prabhu giridhar nagar. The teacher turned my eyes, revolutionized my vision, so that all that I saw as this vast, uncrossable ocean of samsara turned out to be just a notion of samsara. The ocean is converted into a notion by which teaching, that is the Bhagavad Gita. That is exactly the Bhagavad Gita. And that's why it is so effective, because we have Lord Krishna there answering questions and making this ocean into a notion. This is why it is so beautiful to study. And then when we look at the layout of the Bhagavad Gita, we have some very interesting, a pattern emerges. The first, there are 18 chapters, as we all know. And the first 6 chapters, they have a particular topic. The second, middle 6 have a particular topic. And then the final 6 have a particular topic. It is all based on the Mahavakya, Tat Tvam Asi. You are that Jagat Karanam Brahma, Tat Jagat Karanam Brahma, Bhagavan Ishvaraha Tvam Asi. So the first 6 chapters are an inquiry and analysis into the word Tvam. Who is this I? Tvam means you, but here you're taking it as you. The teacher says Tvam, you say Aham. Okay. So, who is this I? Who am I? Am I the sum total of my body, mind, sense complex? Am I someone that is, needing to believe in all the things that I feel about myself? Am I a bunch of emotions? Am I a bundle of stress? What is this thing that I am? The first 6 chapters are what are called Tvam Pada Vichar, Tvam Pada Pradhanya. Then the middle 6 chapters, you see, straight away from chapter 7, the topic drastically changes. It's all about Bhagavan. Bhagavan talking, Lord Krishna talking in the first person. It's so wonderful. And so we have Bhagavad Darshanam in the middle 6 chapters. And what is that? It is the Tat Pada Vichar. Then the last 6 chapters are just sort of, what is that? Summing things up. Summing up how the things unfold, and summing up how is it that I am that Tat. This is called Asi Pada Vichar. Asi. Asi means you are. Not you will become next life or after you go to heaven. Not you were. Asit. You were Tat. But now you are just a Jiva. No. It is you are. And this is the Asipada Vichara. It talks about, in a lot of ways, about how to live, what to do, all these things. Equipped with this knowledge, what is bhakti, all these things, everything it talks about. And what is Shraddha, what is Tyaga, all those things it talks about. And so all this is the gist of what the Bhagavad Gita can do. So therefore, the term Gita, so Gita Kartavya, Kim Manyaihi, Shastra Vistaraihi is not an exaggeration. So that is why it is called Song of the Lord, because we can visualize Lord Krishna playing on his flute. And every verse is a small tune. Every chapter is a melody. And I'm excited, I'm very happy to look at, to unpack and unfold some of these melodies we'll be studying together in the coming days. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadag Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.